And welcome back to another episode. How we getting on, guys?
Doing good. Chris is here. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing?
We're doing good, sir.
Better you're here.
Ireland, what's up? How y'all doing? I'm excited to be with you in Ireland somewhat, virtually.
Yeah, in spirit. Chris, for people who may not know you, how about you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, my name is Chris J. Alex. I am a professional goofball. I'm known. I started off in the business as a stuntman. I did season 1 of Supergirl. I also did Captain America: Civil War and some other things as well. I've transitioned into voiceover, Boros and One Punch Man, Strife, and whatnot, and now I'm venturing on to on camera stuff. So that's kind of what my trajectory this far.
And dude, like they're not small things you've been in, like One Punch Man, Steven Universe, Call of Duty. What's we got? We got The Last of Us.
Yes.
I know that's such a small amount as well.
Like, you throw a bit in there, it's like, yeah, I was in that, whatever.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I never played a single Call of Duty game. I've been meaning to. My brother's been he's been on my head. He's like, you gotta play. But it's kind of I've never realized how big the franchise is because I never played. But everyone, I get a lot of love from people every now and then, and they're like, yeah, we enjoy your operator. So I'm thrilled and I love to be a part of that world.
I'm glad it's a great community. They can have their moments. Absolutely love it. You play the operator Mace.
Yes, sir, I do. I play Mace.
So I guess that's going to be the main one we'll have a chat about. But tell us how you got into that role.
Okay, so you know what? It's weird. I'm actually gonna record this as well because I think it's kind of cool that
go ahead.
All the way in Ireland. And, I'm excited. I'm excited. The world's getting smaller.
There you go. It's better that way.
How I got it is it's weird. I've always been I've worked for Call of Duty. I think about once a year, and it's weird. If you don't work a puppet and a puppet show comes to town, you're gonna be you're gonna work on the show. So luckily I'm able to get into voiceover, which is kind of niche. A lot of the same guy all the time, and I just auditioned for it. Honestly, I just auditioned, and sometimes you don't know what you're going in for until you book it, and then it comes out years later, and then you know what you're on. But yeah, there's just no story. Traditionally I just for it. I liked myself, and then I ended up.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of the story for most actors when they get into a Call of Duty game is they don't even know it's a Call of Duty game yet. I'm assuming that was the case for you as well.
Yeah. I did not know. You know which office it is. Okay, I'm going in for this office, and you can guess through the like, okay, this is obviously Call of Duty. After I had been working from a couple of, because I'm also the Black Ops 3, I don't remember which one it was, but I'm actually the voice in the sky that you hear. So I came up with that one. It was like, hey, we've got this really cool character that we just get, and I did end up doing Mace. But then they showed me the character. I was, oh, okay, he's really cool. And but for the most part, when I got the call that I booked something, I just kind of did this until like moved, and then long story short, you start doing the lines, and then once you get in, you see the artwork, and then the familiar faces are the same, so and then you kind of know what it is. But yeah, that's that story. I wish I had something more exciting to tell you. It's like, no, I read lines, and they liked my voice, and I lucked out to get a cool guy.
Yeah. I'm glad it worked out for you. It's definitely a good one to get into. And because you have your character cemented in there, there's obviously the opportunity to come back at some point. Because it's kind of like Marvel in a way. If you do have a role in one of those games, you probably have another eventually.
Yeah, let's hope, man. Yeah, because it's definitely a lot of fun. Just really like I said, I never played it, but the character's also cool, and when you're in the booth and you're reading some of the lines, like, oh, that's cool, and then it's really weird because he's not like he's a part of a campaign or anything, and it's like a lot of the times when you're getting, the story, just getting micro bits and pieces. The first time I'm reading stuff for my operator is normally the first time I'm ever seeing it. And, the director, we rely so much on the director to like, okay, well, this is the context in which it happened. This is kind of the thing that happened before, and act. So you're like, you kind of just have to deduce all the information and make a choice in the moment. And then through the glory of their expertise and then their holistic knowledge of the story, they put it together in this awesome way. And then you get to hear it. And then it's like, wow, that came off really great. So a lot of the times I don't get to see the arcs in the whole thing. And it's even worse for me because I don't play games. So it's really hard for me to decipher, the trajectory and what happens with the character. But I just kind of like feel it in the moment. And then whatever I get through you guys is kind of like, oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, it's amazing and kind of weird at the same time.
How come you voiced in so many? Oh, okay. How come you voice act in so many things, but you don't play them or you don't know much about that industry?
Well, here's the thing. It's I have the type of a personality that if I like something, I do it a lot. There is no moderation with me. And the thing is, we've gotten past the thing, we put in the cartridge and you play for 20 minutes and you could possibly see like, no, these games are massively long and they're in depth. And
yeah,
the part of it is they're really cool. So I'm a story type of guy, and I feel like video games, they're in this golden age of their storytelling. Like it's absolutely fantastic. So just knowing my personality, I can't play a lot of those games because I know I will literally get nothing done. I kind of wear a lot of hats. So like right now I'm in this weird space where I've pretty much done everything in entertainment. And right now I'm really focused on to be quite frankly, like I want to transition into more mainstream, like with my face and more on camera. So producing my own stuff. Like during the pandemic, we shot a whole movie, which is like 2 hours. And then we got to cut 40 minutes up. So it's just like everything requires a massive amount of time. So it's just like, between, the producing and the writing and the directing and, finding the money to do the thing. And not to mention, I kind of got to know my lines when we're acting. There's just so much that you have to do just to maintain a level of professionalism that I literally do not have time to play them. And if I did, then something would suffer. But I can watch something on Twitch and I get the story. Like I can watch something on YouTube and, just kind of watch it movie form because, we have to watch movies. But to answer your question it just requires too much time in order for me to participate in the way that I would like to.
No,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, I see you as like a very competitive gamer when you get into it.
Yeah.
You say you're top of the ranks. I can see it already.
I play 3 games. I play Street Fighter, I play Killer Instinct, and like old school like 2D fighters. Like anything I can just jump in and play like Capcom or SNK. I can just jump in 20 minutes, get my fix. Yeah, that's great. And then keep pushing. But those are the type of games I end up playing.
And are you familiar with like some of the games you've done, like their stories, like say The Last of Us even?
So the first Last of Us, I watched a lot of it on YouTube just because it's an amazing story. It's a great story. Not to mention, just the cast alone, working with Troy Baker and Ashley, like they are really, really, really good. They're just really good actors, just really good storytelling. And, Neil is, just the care that they put into it and the attention to detail, it was amazing. So just out of respect for film and good filmmaking, I watched a lot of it on YouTube. Now I did miss a lot of this story through context because I didn't see any of the gameplay and there's
no.
But for the most part, I saw as most of it as I can online, and just the way it opened was just like, and you kind of
something beautiful.
The way you see Joel get thrust into, how he came to be who he is. It was just well done. So yes, I definitely watch and pay attention when I can.
Yeah.
The Last of Us is a great game. And what about the controversy with the second one? What did you think of it? If you've seen anything about it?
I kind of live in a vacuum, guys.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
I have no idea. Only thing I know is that we did it and it was done. But what was the controversy? Like
People didn't really like the. I think there was a segment where you played as the villain of it for 8 hours at one point, and people didn't really like that, or it didn't sit well with them, and people were kind of disappointed with the ending. I don't know. I haven't played The Last of Us 2 yet. I played the first one because the first one's fucking great, you know. But I just heard so much negative stuff about the second one. I was like, do I want to? You know, it's like, you know,
you got to put up a lot. I mean, you got to kind of invest a considerable amount of time. So I mean, that's an interesting take. I would definitely watch it online because I'm curious to see, how that story continued. But yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I know. It's just when people didn't end up liking the villain. Did some dodgy stuff.
It was brave to do that, actually, you know.
Yeah.
Plays the, you know, make the player plays the person you hate the most.
Again, like what you were saying, Chris, like storytelling at some of its finest in video games.
Yeah.
You know, try to make you understand someone that you're meant to hate. Blah blah blah.
And I think that's the most compelling villain. If you know that the person's a villain, but they're justified in their position, and it's just like they pose a very hard argument. It's really interesting, and I think those are some of the best villains ever. Like a Thanos or like a Killmonger.
I was about to bring up Thanos, yeah.
If you think about it, the greatest virus in the world is the human population. We make more trash and we throw things off more than anything else. But who calls the human beings? So that's really interesting. That's kind of a really interesting take. If there were less of you, then the rest of you could live better. So that's just kind of very interesting. It's crazy to justify it. It's fucking crazy to think about. But if you think about it like this, like, oh, it's wow, yeah.
Hey man, I see some people do stupid shit, and I'm like, hey, Thanos did nothing wrong.
Look,
that guy had it spot on. That guy, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Just take this guy out. Yeah, this guy, we have too many of this guy.
Yeah.
What a fraud.
Oh god. Thanos had a point then. Oh god, that's just a rough thing to say. But
there you go.
Yeah. What was I going to say there? We're working in a lot of, I guess, more of the animated stuff you've done. Do you find that in any way difficult? Because it's kind of cartoony. It's not something that you could, or it's not like an experience you could relate to.
Well, it's just a different it's a different medium. I feel like if you're an actor, you find the realm, or you find the play, the sandbox, right? And then they say, okay, look, they place you in the sandbox. These are the toys you play with. Okay, you got this thing here, you got this thing over here, and this is the situation. And build in these confines, and that's kind of what you do. You work to build whatever sandbox you are. So I don't think it's any more difficult to do theater as it is, TV. Well, actually, that's a little bit different. I mean, they're just different animals in different disciplines. Some would argue that theater is much more difficult because once the train pulls from the station, there is no cut. You go and then you go. And I feel like it just depends on the medium. I feel working in animation, it's just different. And I feel like if you take someone for film and TV and you just throw them into animation without them having any prior animation, it takes some getting used to because they're different mediums. They both require a lot of discipline, but they're just different. And luckily, I've been exposed to both of them long enough where I'm comfortable. There are things they take away from you as an actor, and well, how do you smile in animation, right? Like, they take away your facial features, they take away certain things. So it's just like, well, how does that feeling sound when you're just glee? So there's a different way of emoting and different toolbox that you have to use to get those things across. But I just think both require a lot of time in the medium to understand and create it. This is different.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not getting as much as you would in like if you're on set or even theater. And you were saying at the start that you want to be yourself more on screen, like your face more so than the voice acting. And I mean, what does that entail for you? Like, how's that going to work?
Well, here's the thing. You got to be in shape. That's different. Like, I mean, doing animation, I can come in and in a bathrobe and just
do it from home even.
Yeah, I can do it. I have been working from home, which has been fantastic. But when you're on set, you're embodying the character. So physical appearance is definitely going to be a factor. Wardrobe and being in the elements, that's a whole nother thing. When you're actually there in the space, across opposite another actor. A lot of times in voiceover, just out of on a show where where you're in the room recording an ensemble cast, more than not, you're kind of doing your thing in a vacuum. So, you're opposite, either vocal booth, if the vocal booth director, if he's, nice enough to read you in, but for the most time, you're just kind of acting in a vacuum as opposed to having someone in front of you and taking the energy off the person, taking someone in,
Yeah.
I feel that's definitely something different. And me getting more into that is just, well, there's two reasons. It's one, because, I happen to like to work with a group of people. I like to collaborate. Now I love, but sometimes it's like you're fishing a bowl, people outside the booth, and you're just kind of doing your thing while people look, and then they'll have a conversation, and then like, oh, that's cool, moving on. But as opposed to creating with other actors and people like that, I think that's really exciting for me, and for vanity reasons too, man. I mean, I really want people to know the work that I do. Like, I imagine you guys did so much research to figure out who I am, and the average person that just consumes content, they're not going to do that. They're not going to know a lot of the work that I've done, and I really want people to know what I do. So that's kind of the instant benefit you get of being on camera, is that people see you, and what people see, there's much more of a footprint of your body.
And it makes sense that it's easier with a person in front of you, because you can bounce energy back, you can figure things out, you can be realer. But you're making an educated guess if you're just reading words on the script into a microphone. Yeah,
and then it's just like certain things that other actors do across. Sometimes you pick things off. Like if an actor yells something at you, you almost you want to give back that energy. You take the ball and you bounce it back. It's just much more visceral. Even just the little difference between us right now, like if this had just been an auditory experience, right? It's much different than opposed to us being on camera, and I'm able to look in your face and I can see what you guys are doing. I can see you guys, you've got the pops in the background. It's like, okay, and I can see it's just different. It's just much more, more about it.
I think in fairness, Thomas has you bet in terms of the pops there.
Have some cool ones back there. I got a lot of Marvel ones. I'm a big Marvel fan,
I gotta work on my pop game, man. I got like one. I got a couple more, man. I gotta get some pops. Yeah. Who's your favorite? Who you got back? Who's your favorite?
Actually, I keep my favorite right beside me, and I do it for a reason. It's Vince Gilligan, creator of Breaking Bad, because I think he helped me write creatively for my college essays. Swear to God, it works. Look, I'm a freaking genius when it comes to writing essays.
He's like, get those pages in, get that page count up. You're like, yes.
Exactly. And then he threatens me with sending, Walter White to my house to kill me. But it's fun. It's good time. It's good time.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
There you go. How have you found? We'll finish up now in a minute, but so far this year and with 2020 included, what's it been like as an actor? Have you been able to work remotely, or has it been difficult?
Here's the thing. I've been blessed enough to be able to work remotely. Right before COVID, I got a broadcast quality mic because I was doing some stuff for clients like Wingstop, Jeep, and I was working from home. And then we got into a lockdown situation where luckily I had just the mic that was perfect. So I've been able to work from home. But on top of that, what I did was I kind of saw an opportunity. So I self-financed and produced my own film called Get the Girl. And, during the lockdown, just like you, my friend, I was like, okay, we got a window where we can do something. Actors are going to be locked down, so I can essentially get, next to cheap labor, if not free, for the next month. But we got to go now. So I wrote the movie in a month. We started pre-production, and we literally shot as fast as we can and got it in the can. So it's definitely it can be nerve-wracking to spend bits of money trying to do your own thing during a worldwide pandemic when you're like, I don't know if am I gonna regret this? I don't know. Let's just maybe throw a credit card. We'll look off a credit card. But it was definitely amazing to see everyone who wanted to be there, everyone who came out, worked long hours, and was so grateful to have a place to go and do their craft where it mattered.
Yeah,
and, that was amazing.
I'm glad it worked out for you, man.
Yeah.
That was a risk though. I don't need to tell you that was risky.
I mean, still, I'm like,
of all the times to do it.
Yeah, and it was really expensive. Well, just the logistics of of there being a worldwide pandemic, and then just working with the whole mask and sanitary issues, and it was very challenging to do that. But I feel that in the words of Jeff Goldblum, life finds a way. Art finds a way. People find a way, and I was just really blessed to have a group of people that just were absolutely fantastic, and everyone wanted to be there.
Yeah, and I like your perspective of, we have time. Let's use it wisely. Let's do something with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people obviously have been kind of moping around, or they've kind of been in a hard place because of COVID. But there is opportunity there, because if you're stuck at home nearly your entire day, maybe do something with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're focused. I mean, there's a lot you can do when it's like when you're focused to be still. Because especially, I don't know what it's like living in Ireland, but in LA, it's just everyone lives at neck brace pace because the cost of living out here is so astronomically high. You don't know where your next check is going to come, so everyone's just busy hustling, looking for the next job. As an actor, you can be in one thing thinking about, okay, when this wraps, what am I going to do now? Because I'll be dropped this. So it's just like, it was really cool for everyone to just take that time to just be still and figure out, what am I going to do? And I think it was very sobering for a lot of people. And depending on what you focus on, it can be either a very opportunity or a very, just depends on who you are and what you focus on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Chris, I think we've taken up enough of your time today. I thank you very much for getting on.
Dude, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. If anybody wants to follow me, just check me out, Chris J. Alex. That's on everything. Chris is spelled J-I-C-H-R-S, J-A-I-A-L-E-X. Thank you so much. And do you guys have like a special sign off that you guys do, or?
Well, normally I say, where can people check you out? But you kind of bet me to it. There you go.
I've done it before.
You made my job easier. So thank you. And if people want to check you out, they know where to find you now. So if you got this far in the podcast, fair play to you. And I suppose take it handy and good luck. Top of the morning, lads and ladies. Support for the Off the Irish podcast is now brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels, and you'll no longer need the look of the Irish with the ladies. Make every day feel like St. Patrick's Day for your balls with Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code IrishPod at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped, and use code IrishPod. Use the right tools for the job and trim your pant potatoes.